Well, it was hard waking up this morning. Least I lived through another night. The fog inside my mind begins to fade. There's a roof over my head, and I woke up in my own bed. That's more than can be said about my younger days. Growing old is easy, growing wise is getting harder. I don't want to run toward that line. The road keeps rushing by me, so much faster than I wanted. I try and slow it down and take my time. There's been many times I wondered just how the hell I got here, but I'm sure that I enjoyed the ride. Was I the life of the party, or was I drunk before it started? Left alone to look on from outside. Growing old is easy, growing wise is getting harder. I don't want to run toward that line. The road keeps rushing by me, so much faster than I wanted. I try and slow it down and take my time. Looking back in shame or anger won't make me a better man. I just keep moving forward and do the best I can, with the bags all stacked behind me and the past a shrinking memory, only looking back from time to time. Growing old is easy, growing wise is getting harder. I don't want to run toward that line. The road keeps rushing by me, so much faster than I wanted. I try and slow it down and take my time. I try and slow it down and take my time. What is going on, friends? This is Colin, and as has been custom for the last few weeks, every Wednesday I'm posting an original song of mine, and that tune is called Finish Line. And that is, except for some instrumental jazz competitions that I did when I was in high school, that's the first song that I ever wrote that saw the light of day. And I had made some attempts at writing a song or two here and there over the years, but it was about 6 or 7 years ago that I started playing music again after taking a long time off. You know, had a job, started a family, and got into it in my 30s. And I was playing in a cover band and started doing a couple of solo shows, and just really wasn't satisfied with that. So I wanted to write my own songs, and I sat down, and when I put that effort forward, I took the time, and that's the first one I wrote. And basically, it's just talking about the fact that really, once you get past the whole growing up thing, and you're supposed to be in what they call adulthood, time really speeds up. And once I had kids, the years just started flying by, and I don't like that time is going by that quickly. And that's what I reflected on in that song. And I know that I've written better songs since, but that was the first one, and it was on an EP that I put out in 2015 called The Upper Cruft. And cruft basically means, for lack of a better term, leftover stuff. And I kind of have weird names for my EP and my album, I guess. But part of it is that most of my songs don't have a humorous side to them, and I don't want everyone to think that I take myself so damn seriously. So, I'll play around a little bit with naming projects and that sort of thing, just so that you don't think that I'm a bummer all the time. And, I didn't know what I was doing when I wrote that song, and there are days where I still don't know what I'm doing, or not sure I know what I'm doing. And I write some good ones, and I write some that aren't so good. But that's songwriting, and that's one of the things I've learned, I guess, from studying others and listening to interviews and podcasts. And now that I'm doing music full time, I have a lot more time to spend editing, and I'll listen to the song after I get a version of it completed, and I'll just listen to it, and lines will start to bother me if they're not right. It'll stick out, and I'll kind of wince. I'm like, and those need work, and I go back and I work on them, and sometimes it doesn't take long. Sometimes it takes weeks until the lines are all right, at least in my head, and that says nothing of how they'll be interpreted by the public, but that's how I go about it. And that one started, I think, with the music. And most of my tunes did originally, and it would start with a musical idea, but now it starts with all kind. I never know where a song's going to come from. It might be a musical idea where I'm just kind of playing something that I like the sound of, and I'll just kind of hum over it, hum a melody, or maybe a line or a rhyme that I'm feeling, and that can inform more words, and those words sometimes start from nothing, and then I wind up assigning meaning to them, and I kind of form a narrative in my head, or a story, or a thought, or whatever that I want to now get across. And sometimes that isn't there when I start the song, and the sentiment behind that tune, Finish Line, I don't think it was there when I started. I don't really remember, but I know that I had this finger picking piece, and I just started with a line, and the story grew from there. So that one, there's a lot of me in it. And sometimes the songs are totally fictional, but yeah, it's been an interesting, I guess, 6 years or so since I wrote that, and I've had a lot of fun, and I've grown as an artist and as a songwriter, and I've met a lot of wonderful people along the way that have helped me to develop and grow, and it's been really great. So I think that's probably it for the motivational speech tonight. I'll be back tomorrow with another cover song, probably, unless I magically write a tune tonight. And I mentioned yesterday that I have one on the go. It's still on the go. I moved the yardsticks forward a little bit today, but not very much. And with the kids upstairs in the house with me all day, it's not the most creative of environments. So, if I get into something, then, somebody's going to come out and ask if they can have a snack. And it's very distracting. What I think I might do is, after this week, I've been doing a video every weekday. And I might back that off to maybe 3 videos a week. Do like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then just take Tuesdays and Thursdays after everyone's gone to bed to write. Because I'm back into kind of the mode of songwriting, and I'm working on another album. When and how I'll be able to get out and get that recorded is uncertain at this time, but I do have a producer that's agreed to work with me, at least in principle, and we're bouncing ideas back and forth, and I can't wait to share with you who that is. I'm really excited to be working with this individual, and just an amazing musical mind, and I'm thrilled. So yeah, I want to write. I've got, I think, 13 or 14 songs in the can right now that are there for consideration, but I think it's important that I focus and take the time that I have here to try and bang out a few more that are hopefully really good. I want to put out the best album possible, and that means that that you want to have some songs that are good songs that wind up on the cutting room floor. Because, if that's the position you're in, then the album has the potential to be great. And I really want this next album to be something special. I'm proud of the first album that I put out. I'm proud of Party Music. And I'm very grateful for the folks that worked with me on it, especially, Stephen Lewis and Jay Merrill at Marshall Studios. I'm really proud of what we accomplished. And it was a great learning experience. And, I've learned and grown as an artist since then a lot. as a guitar player, songwriter, like everything. I'm always trying to move my skills forward. And if I'm not doing that, then I've made a really poor career choice. And I just can't wait to break ground on this. So, but at the same time, if I can have 20 songs in the can that we look at and we pick the best 9, 10, 11 to make a really great album, I think that's I'm looking forward to that. Usually I'm like rooting through the proverbial drawers looking for one more song to throw in the mix. And once we had the song lineup for party music set, I wrote the song Photographs, and that one turned out to be it was a special song, and so we wound up bumping something else off the record, which is cool. I'm glad I wrote it, and I always want to write that special one. And they're not always like that. And not all of them can be that serious because it's too hard on me. It's too hard on the head of the audience. But that was, I had a moment with that one. And that was one of those tunes that just kind of fell out. And now I took the time to edit afterwards. But the general idea, the music, the melody, and most of the lyrics came to me very quickly. And when that happens, that's usually a pretty good sign. But now I've kind of learned to channel that a little bit more and to just take a little bit more time and care to edit. I have a few folks that I trust that I'll bounce ideas off of, but just the act of bouncing the song off of other people just puts me into not an unhealthy self-critical headspace, but it gets me into editing mode. When I'm in creating mode, it's hard to see what I've done, and it's hard to see the fault in it, I guess, because you're in the moment, you're creating. And it's probably good that I don't censor myself at that point. But afterwards, it's good to take some time and just reflect and listen. And I don't like listening to myself over and over, but that's necessary, I find, because I need to burn a song into me so that I can find the rough edges. And I did not intend to talk this long. Not at all. But here we are. This video is going up on Wednesday, so hump day, we're halfway through this week, and I hope that you're well and taking care of each other, and we'll talk tomorrow.